We back. Let's see. Let's see if this thing works. Let's see if it works. Let me move this around over here. Put you there. Put you there. So I don't know if that was the all 22 or if that was for another reason. I'm gonna see what they say once they do more of a breakdown. We're gonna see what that was about. We'll see what it's about. But we're gonna finish out the stream for sure. We're gonna go to Cody Kessler's reaction. I thought it was a really good reaction. So that's what we're gonna get to. We're gonna get to Cody Kessler before we get up out of here and get everybody on their way to enjoy their Thanksgiving. Let's get to it. Let's go.
You listen. Go ahead. I'll tell you. I'll explain it. Let me explain it. Go ahead.
QBR9 is crazy.
Yes.
Cody,
Okay.
give us the stats.
I'm going to
Break
tell you
it down.
why, though. I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with it at all. But I'm going to tell you why he got a QBR of 8.7. So QBR calculates a quarterback's contribution to winning games. So look at it like this. From 0 to 100, what's your percentage that you had to do with the win? But it doesn't just calculate the quarterback. It takes in everything. The defense, your opponent, totality of everything that happened in the game will get points towards QBR. And that's why sometimes, Aqib, when we see quarterbacks play well and you watch the tape and you go, man, I watched it with my own eyes, and their QBR is a 19 or a 25, but you know they played better than that. The reason is because everything that's happening around them. So on Sunday, what hurt Shedeur's QBR were a couple things. The first, the defense getting 10 sacks. That contributed to the win. The defense holding the Raiders to only 10 points. That gets a percentage of the win. That contributes to the win. The other thing that I hated, too, and was a big thing that significantly hurt his QBR, was that those 2 rushing touchdowns by Judkins and Wildcat, he wasn't even on the field. So that is going to be significant towards his QBR. I hate they did that, too. He's a rookie quarterback.
Calculates this.
You've got to give him those reps, though, in the red zone. He had 1 red zone pass the entire game. He needs those reps. Let him throw it on first down. If it doesn't work, then go Wildcat maybe second.
So they don't take into consideration how the fuck he got to the red zone?
They do.
That was only 8 points, though.
And I think that pass to Bond alone should have been at least
25.
At least 30.
Right.
No, I say 30 to 40
Like, come on,
alone.
bro.
That was
But
crazy.
the other thing, too, that it takes into account is quality of opponent. So the fact that the Raiders are a bad football team, their defense hasn't been great, that'll hurt the QBR. And then the last thing, too, is it goes into division of credit. So that throw to Sampson, that was behind the line. Great ball, though. I hate people keep saying, like, oh, it was behind the line of scrimmage. You got to throw that on the upfield shoulder.
Man.
If you throw it behind, if you throw it over the top, if you throw it low, he can't catch and run and
He's not
doesn't
gonna score.
You got to put it on the upfield shoulder. And I can't tell you how tough bubble screens and those swing routes are with the defender right there where you have to manipulate the throw. It was a great throw. But the reason that he didn't get credit for that is because after he caught it, he ran for 68. Sampson did to score. So he's going to get 98 of that. Shedeur's going to get 2. Those all played a factor in QBR. You know what else it doesn't account for, though? And this is why I don't love QBR all the time, is it doesn't account for leadership and confidence and the spark that he...
Welcome back. Welcome back, Wet 11s. Shanithia's back. Yeah, I think it could be the all 22. It doesn't tell me what the issue is with whatever I'm showing. I'm assuming it's the all 22 because of the time that YouTube sent me the email. But we still gonna get this thing off. We still gonna finish this show, right? We're gonna get to Cody Kessler. Cody Kessler was just breaking down the all 22. I'm sorry, he was breaking down QBR and all things that are impacted regarding QBR. And to me, as people who don't understand football, they are trying to put things in a bucket to help them understand how good somebody is, when you can just look at things and learn about football to get better. So you can look at if a guy's footwork is good. You can look at if he's reading the right part of the field. But they would rather punch all the stats in and say, give me a number and let me see if this works. And a lot of times the QBR doesn't even match the QB rating. And we can watch guys play way worse. We can watch guys play way worse, and they get a higher QBR. So QBR is one of those things where people are really calling it out now. I just sent my son to the store, come get him. I'll put him out. Got to keep him busy so he can stop eating all your cookies for your banana pudding. You got to keep him busy. So let's get back to it. Let's listen to Cody a little bit more.
He created for that football team and the heart that he has and what he's been through. They don't account for those things. They just look at the totality of the game, what you do individually, and also what your defense and the rest of everybody do. But what you have to do as well is watch the tape. You can look at stats, you can look at numbers, but you got to watch the tape, and I did. I want to talk about a couple plays from this game. A couple good, one bad, and some things that are really encouraging. Let's start with the bad. That interception was a hell of a play by that Will.
Yes, I'm back. I think potentially it could have been the all-22. It could have been. I'm not sure if it was the all-22. So I'll see if I get anything else. I'll see if I get anything else after this stream where I'm just showing Cody and his breakdown on the arena. Usually I don't get anything. If that is the case where this was due to the all-22, I'll have to do the all-22 on Patreon if we keep running into the same issue. So QBR sounds so subjective. Yes, it does. It's it's super subjective. It's too many boxes. So the first third down that I showed y'all, Shedeur would negatively impact this QBR because it was 3rd and 8. He threw the ball 6 yards because that's what the defense gave. That's the play that the coaches called. So he would get negatively impacted on QBR, but everybody saw he made the right play. You got to watch the tape. For sure you got to watch the tape. And do you get fined? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see. Excuse me. We're going to see what happens. I only got one email so far. And it says, due to copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Video title, and it was the title I had. Streams are interrupted when copyright content is detected. After copyrighted material is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled. So my guess is it was the all-22. If it is the all-22, and if when I show all-22, they're going to shut me down like that, it's a couple options. So I could take still pictures of the all-22 and I could break it down by drawing on it. That's an option. If that's not an option, then I could just do the all-22 and just do a whole video and put it on the Patreon and just do an all-22 video. So couple options. Another thing I'm thinking about is if we still want to do it live so people can have questions, I could do the all-22 on Zoom through Patreon. So it seems like the all-22 was going to have to go to Patreon so they don't keep shutting down my streams. That's what it seems like. I don't know if that's the correct answer yet, but we'll find out what the answer is. We'll find out what it is. And we'll go from there. Yeah, QBR can mess up or taint a person's view. If y'all notice, when I always spoke on Dylan Gabriel, I always spoke on what he did on the football field. I rarely went to QBR because I saw him miss the throws. I saw him not process well. I didn't need a stat to tell me this is what I saw. I saw it. I saw it. So once I saw it, I knew I didn't need to go see a stat. So my bots are not working. My bots are being lazy. Let me see. I could drop the Patreon link here. Thought I had it saved. Let me get the Patreon link. My bots usually drop it every 15 minutes or so. But I can drop the link. Let me grab it. Let me grab the Patreon link here. Can you do 10 and not 22? I wonder if it is because I'm showing a full screen. I didn't run into the issues when I wasn't full screen, but I know full screen is a better experience for y'all. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, and then whichever way we got to approach and go, then we'll do it that way. That's the link to the Patreon. If it gets to that point and we got to do it on Patreon, we'll do it on Patreon. We'll do whatever works best so we can still get everybody the answers to the questions. We can still go through the content the way we want to. So it potentially could be go straight to Patreon, but we'll see. But that's the link for the Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, either level that you join, you will have access to me breaking down film if we got to take it that route. So that's the link to the Patreon. What else you got to say, Cody?
Linebackers. So what they had was a double spot concept with a Y sit. Mirrored routes, that Y sit is for cover 2. If I get cover 2, I'm eliminating everything, going right to the tight end right now, moving on. What they did, though, is they went one high, rotated the safety down to the right. Shedeur read it perfectly. I'm working away from rotation and mirrored routes. I talked about that on Friday. Has his eyes in the right spot. That defensive end made a really, really good play, though. You see him start to go to the flat. As soon as Shedeur planted the throw, he retraced back underneath the spot route. Those spot routes are little 6-yard hooks. The swing routes are behind them. That's where the mirrored concept comes into play. The best part about that, though, is that is a teachable moment. That is learning. That is correction. Those are things that almost have to happen as a rookie quarterback that you can learn from and get better. The only thing I would say for him in that moment.
I could do it both ways. So on a YouTube stream, I can have it small. Then when I watch the All 22, I usually watch it on Tuesday. So what I can do is I watch All 22 on Tuesday. I can just record a video watching it. And then when I record the video, I can put it full screen on Patreon. And then I can put it back to regular size I had before and see if that works out for it. So if y'all cool with it, we're going to try it both ways. We're going to try to see what works. Some other football athletes said they don't like QBR because it does not tell the whole story. They said no way Brock had a higher rating with 3 picks. There you go. There's no way. He didn't play better. Thank you for explaining this is the subjective shady QBR stat. Yes. If you notice, the people who is using QBR, only people who are using QBR are the ones who want to take a shot at Shedeur. Nobody is using QBR when they speak on J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't been playing well. Nobody is using QBR when they speak on these other quarterbacks. QBR is such a main thing, a main hot button topic right now because people want to use it as a knock against Shedeur. So everybody's speaking on QBR. Everybody's speaking on it. When we watched Dylan Gabriel, how many times did y'all hear anybody say QBR? Nobody said QBR. Some people went to his PFF grades, but people rarely went to QBR when they were talking about Dylan. Of course, ESPN is going to use it because it's an ESPN stat. ESPN created QBR, so they definitely going to reference it. They're going to reference the stat that they created. So we just watched Dylan Gabriel and said he's not it. Nobody said, let's look at this QBR. Now with Shedeur, they go into QBR because as Shedeur shows more things on the field, they got to move the goalpost to a different way so they can knock Shedeur. That's what it is. J.J. McCarthy, before the year, people said J.J. McCarthy would have went number 1 overall in this draft, and I pushed back on it immediately. I got videos out me saying there's no way he would have went number 1 overall. He's been having a very bad year. Nobody brings up QBR when they speak on J.J. McCarthy. They look at his tape. They look at his film and say, this doesn't look good. So I think it's just one of those things. Shedeur might be like the most hated by so many people, so that's why they trying to knock him. And it just to me, it shows they don't understand football. And that's just being kind by saying they don't understand football.
Hopefully Tommy Rees talks to him about that, is he does a little bit of a hitch, plant, and then throw. I would like for him going forward just to plant and anchor, right? Hang on that back foot so you're loaded, ready to throw. Then that gives you a half second to read what he's going to do, anticipate the spot, react to the swing, then we move on. But I feel like they will get that corrected going forward. But talk about 2 of the good plays. That dip concept where they had the post and the dig back sight to Jerry Jeudy when he was rolling out. Read it perfectly, had a quick flash fake. He noticed that Max Crosby came inside, so I've got to.
That's how you know he's going to be great. What are they scared of when it comes to Sanders? I don't know. That's the question I don't know. I don't know why he was the one that NFL teams said they just didn't want in their building. I don't know why he was the one. I don't know. Because to me, if you look at these quarterbacks who are going to be coming out the next couple of years, they're very similar to Shedeur in demeanor. They're very similar to Shedeur. Look at the Vanderbilt quarterback. Very similar to Shedeur. Look at Jackson Dart. Very similar demeanor as Shedeur. So I don't know why they picked Shedeur and said he's the one that we're going to view differently. But a lot of these other quarterbacks have a very similar demeanor as him. So it's going to be telling if they don't criticize and critique these other quarterbacks the same way. It's going to be very telling. It is a distraction from history making stats. It is. I'm back, Ms. Brown. I'm back. What's the stat that everybody knows about the Cleveland Browns because they heard it so much last week? The stat is 0-17 for rookies in their first start for the Cleveland Browns. That's the stat that they talk about. Everybody knows that stat. Everybody knows that since 99, nobody's been able to do it. Everybody knows that since 1995 was the last time a rookie quarterback did it. Everybody knows that stat. Do you know what nobody is talking about now? Nobody is talking about now Shedeur is the one who's been able to do it since 1999. If you were telling everybody that stat before it happened and they were ready for Shedeur to be the 18th quarterback to lose in his first game starting in Cleveland since 99, shouldn't you prop Shedeur up for being the one out of the 18 who was able to do it? Nobody is talking about that stat this week. Because this stuff, these weren't honest conversations. They were not honest conversations. They were conversations only used to negatively impact Shedeur. He has a good reputation. He respects people, even the ones he knows talk so nasty about him. I agree. Because what happens when another quarterback that they don't critique as much as Shedeur start going back at people who talk bad at him? What's going to happen then? I am all in on Shedeur. So when you look at Dylan moving the team down the field and Shedeur moving the team down the field, how do you rate Shedeur better? Or I think you meant how do you not rate Shedeur better? Which I agree, it's no way. So just on a very basic level, Shedeur have an opportunity to make this explosive play. It was on third down. Shedeur threw the ball 52 yards to move it upfield. 52 yards. How long, because Dylan Gabriel has an average throw length of 4.5 yards, how many pass attempts would it take Dylan Gabriel to get that same 52 yards? Easy math right there. So we can even bump it up to 5 and just say, make it easier math. Let's say it takes Dylan Gabriel 10 throws to get that same 50 yards. It took Shedeur 1. What does more opportunities give you? More opportunities for failure. Welcome back to, man. If he can do it in one throw and you got to throw it 10 times, that means you have more opportunity to fail. That's the simplest way to understand the difference when you're looking at what Shedeur does and what Dylan does. If every drive upfield is going to take Dylan 15 to 20 plays, that eventually somebody going to make a mistake. A lineman going to jump off sides. A lineman's going to hold. Receiver going to drop a pass. Once that happens, it's a less likelihood of you moving upfield. Versus Shedeur in one throw can cut the field in half. Big plays change the game of football. So that's the difference. So I always told people Shedeur can make the big play that Dylan can't. And everybody said, don't put him out there. Don't. He don't want to play this year. I said, no, put him out there. Let him get it on film. Now, people don't even argue with the film. They only watch the film to argue with it. They're talking about QBR. What else are they saying? So we know they're not being honest. They're not saying Shedeur's the first rookie quarterback to win his debut, even though they told us about the 17 who did it. They're not talking about that stat. They're not talking about the over 200 yards when it's been very hard for Dylan Gabriel to get over 200 yards. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how Dylan Gabriel's average depth of throw is double what Dylan Gabriel's is. They don't want to talk about that. They want to say it's just the Raiders. How many times do y'all see people saying it's just the Raiders? It's just the Raiders. Isn't it just the Browns? These are two teams. 2-8, 3-8. Both of the teams, neither one of the teams is good. So they act as if Shedeur is playing with the Philadelphia Eagles offense and he's going against the Raiders. That's not the case. A week ago, they made the excuse that the Browns' talent was so bad it wouldn't matter the quarterback. So this the same team do way better with another quarterback. Why y'all not talking about that? Why y'all not talking about him uplifting his teammates? Why y'all not talking about him giving his teammates motivation? Why y'all not talking about him taking the same things, him taking the same bad scheme, him taking the same bad play calls, him taking the same offensive line that everybody said can't block, and him getting something done with it? That's something they could talk about. It's not about football. It's just OTAs. It's just training camp. It's just preseason. Now it's just Raiders. You're so right, Shanithia. They moved the goalpost because it was never about football. Never about football. That's what it is. That's what it shows. Shedeur already had money. They may have cheated him in the draft, but they're going to have to pay on the back end. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're going to have to pay handsomely. Shedeur is not taking $1 less. I'm saying that now. He's still on his rookie contract. His next contract, he turns the Browns around. He's not taking $1 less. You're going to pay that man what you owe him. He's not taking less. You're talking right. They said Shedeur could not help. They did. That's why I always highlight it. All the people who said it's not going to make a difference. Not going to make a difference. The team is too bad. Nobody can win with them. Nobody can do better. Now somebody came in and did better. So now you got to look at the football. You got to say, what is he doing differently that the other guys weren't able to do? They don't want to have the conversation. So they are not being honest with you. They're not being honest. They're not being honest when they look at these situations. They're not being honest when they speak on Shedeur. It's not about football. What style of defense the 49ers play? That's a great question. It's a great question. Let me do something real quick. So usually on Fridays, I pull up the chart. I think I should have it here. I pull up the chart on what type of defenses that teams run. So let me go right here. Let me get the answer for you, Shanithia. Through week 12. 49ers. Okay. The goalposts keep moving. They should be tired. They should be very tired the way they're moving these goalposts around. They should be very tired. Let me hit a screenshot real quick so I can show y'all what the 49ers run. Let's pull this up. I like Purdy, but he has to get it. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. I like Purdy, but not this week. I like Purdy, but not this week. Not this week, Purdy. Where my screenshots at? All right, let's get to it. Okay. So this going across the screen here, let me put this over so I can just read it at the same time. All right, so it's the 49ers. This is through 12 weeks, the defense that they run. So 2% of the time, they run cover 0. So those all-out blitzes that we were seeing, they don't do that a lot. Cover one man, they run that 17% of the time. 0% of the time, they run cover two man. So if they're gonna be in man-to-man, it's gonna be cover one with a single high safety. That's what this is telling us so far. Cover two, so these are their zone packages. They run cover two at 6%. They run cover three at 37%. They run cover four at 21%. And cover six at 13%. So they run a lot of zone. They run a ton of zone. Let's do this real quick. Actually, that's easy math. 81% of the time. 81% of the time they run zone. 81%. So being heavy cover three, teams usually run cover three and cover one a lot because you can disguise them the same way. You can show that single high safety and it'll look like man-to-man, and then you can roll out corners or roll out safeties to make that three high shell. So I got to find out their I bet you they blitz Shedeur. I got to find out their blitz rate. Let me see if I can find their blitz rate real quick, because that'll be the difference if they blitz a lot. Let me see if I can find it quickly so I don't hold you all up. Go through these stats real quick. Let me try to search for it. Because if they're not a high blitz rate team, they're not just going to change and just become a team that just starts to blitz crazy. That's something that people were saying, like, oh, why didn't they blitz more? It's like, if you're not Tigers don't change their stripe. If you're not a blitz heavy team, you're not going to start blitzing. Okay. All right. So, according to Next Gen Stats, in the last game that the 49ers played, the 49ers blitzed Bryce Young at 29.4% of the time. So just round it up. Just say once every 3 plays, they sent the blitz. Once every 3 plays. So usually when they get to third downs, that means they're probably blitzing. That's not unusual. That's not unusual for a football team to blitz on third down, because you want to make guys make a quick decision, very quick decision. They ask him about Kevin and relationship. They asked Shedeur about that. That's man. The media keep this thing on football. Talk about football. Talk about what we're doing on football. Can the offensive line get Shedeur time in man to man? They're going to. I don't think the 49ers have anybody who has a lot of sacks. So I don't think they have one person they really need to key on. Let me see. I saw something that was saying Myles Garrett has more sacks than the 49ers. I think they only had 13. If they only have 13 sacks, then they don't really have anybody we got to worry about too much. Let's see if I can get this. All right, that was a couple of months ago. Yeah, so I'm not sure how many sacks they got in this last game, but the 49ers only had 12 sacks. 12 sacks before this last game. So that means they're not a team that can really just attack you with one guy. If you're not a blitz heavy team, when you change up and blitz, your weaknesses and gaps become bigger. Yep, that's exactly it. Because guys aren't used to the responsibility that you have when you blitz. That's why Tigers can't change their stripes. I wonder if they gave Dylan first team reps. They'll never tell us if they gave Dylan first-team reps while Shedeur was a starter because that would just cause something. The center, 77 and 78, seems to struggle on the right side. Wyatt Teller, number 77. I was so hyped to rewatch this game that I was so hyped to watch the replay of this game that I watched the replay. I watched it before the All-22 came out. I watched the TV copy of the replay, and I was like, man, Wyatt Teller, number 77, was getting destroyed. Then I looked at his PFF grades, and I was like, man, he's the lowest graded lineman on the Browns this week because he was just getting tossed around. When they were loading up to the right side, he didn't know who to block. He was confused. So he struggled this week. Teller loves Shedeur. His wife took up for him when Mary Kay was saying, why did he stay in Cleveland to help the people from the fire? Yeah, Mary Kay is nasty work for most part. I don't really pay attention to what she does because she tries to cause problems. She's a problem starter. Yeah, I think he cares about Shedeur. I think he wants to play better. I just think it always hasn't been there this year. So at times he's been the weak link. And Jack Conklin, he was getting beat sometimes too. But our tackles haven't been good this year. They haven't been good. Where'd I leave off? Shedeur knows Kevin don't fool with him. Let's watch it when we finish this. Let's check it out. Let's check out Shedeur. Kevin's interview was different today. He has not guarded at all. He's talking. Really? That's surprising. Teller was hype. Yeah, Teller, he definitely going to give his all. He's going to give his effort. Hi, Shedeur. My name is Jefferson Street, Joe Jefferson. I attended Tennessee State, and I was the first black quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Terry Bradshaw had replaced me. Loved you. Did Kevin say Shedeur's name? Did he say his name? Let me see. I think I had it. Let's see. Let me check it out. Let me search for it real quick. We can listen to Cody Kessler while I search for Shedeur.
To escape the pocket. They lost outside contain. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to keep my eyes downfield. I'm going to let the post clear out three defenders. I'm going to set my feet knowing I'm going to get hit and make a great throw to Jerry Jeudy. That hurt, though, because after he caught it, he went and fumbled. That would have helped him a little bit more. I think that would have had another scoring drive. If I'm Jeudy in that situation, you can't see behind you, but you always anticipate a chase down punch out. You got to be ready for that. But the best play of the game for Shedeur, that throw to Isaiah Bond, that to me is such high-level stuff. Because if you look at that play, this is the third time in the game that he had seen a cover zero pre-snap look. Earlier on in the game, they get a linebacker in the A-gap, two B-gap linebackers. What do? They drop out. The play before that, he actually got cover zero as well. A-gap linebacker, two B-gap linebackers, 7 guys walked out. Now they bring it. He has to get rid of it. The next play, they show him something different. They go double A linebackers, right? Double A mug. They walk up the strong safety to that side, they bring him in tight, or they break up the safety on the backside, bring him down tight. So I know there's 7 guys at the line of scrimmage. Something is telling me that pressure's coming. What I hate the most, though, and what hurt him on that play, is if you watch it back, they got to the line of scrimmage with only 7 seconds left to go on the play clock. An ideal world, double cadence. Give me a hut. Mm-hmm. Pressure's coming. Hey, bring in the tight end, bring the running back in. 82 stay. Let's get a check. Let's move on. Instead, though, he knew I didn't have time to do that. You're bringing 6. I only have 5 to block. I've got to maneuver the free defender. I know where that's coming from. That was on the right side with interior pressure. I'm going to work away, buy myself some time, let Bond do a great job of running that high angle corner, and then I'm going to make a 55-yard throw in the bucket in my first ever start. That is high level stuff. On top of that, too, when you're on the run, and people talk about his arm strength, when you're on the run, you want to get downhill and get your momentum going towards your target. He couldn't do that. He had to work parallel to the line of scrimmage. Yep. He was going to get hit by Devin White. He's going to get hit by Max Crosby. He knows he's going to take that hit, still has enough torque, and he can just flick it 55 yards in the air. That is high level stuff, but you know why he did that? Is because if you listen to his interview after the game, he said, I play the game in my mind throughout the week, so then when it happens, I have that confidence. I know I'm going to make that play. He knew he couldn't make the check. He He knew cover 0 was coming because I've seen that in my prep, and then he drops a dime to Isaiah Bond. It was just really impressive. I was so happy for him to play well. Obviously, some things that he can build off of, continue to get better. There's going to be some growing pains, but that was a hell of a start to his career.
So if you were doing his QBR, what would you give him?
QBR, I'm starting at least 30. I would probably, for everything in totality, I'd give him at least a 60. I'm giving him at least a 55, 60.
So,
yeah.
so we're going from a 60 to an 8. I will now never in my life reference QBR ever again. It's bullshit.
At least you got to.
Oh, man. Skip couldn't wait to ask him, like, oh, what would you put as QBR? Talib said, I'll never reference QBR again. Yeah. QBR is not it. You better off watching the film. Let's get to it. Let's start Shedeur. Let's see. Do we got Shedeur and Kevin here? All right, we'll get Shedeur first, then I'll find Kevin.
Went back and kind of looked at the game. What were the things that when you took away from it, you said, I really like what I did here and really feel like this is things I needed to really work on and progress on?
I was really thankful for being out there, of course, and it's everything, in the midst of a game that you could progress in. When it comes to, like, even footwork, when you're handing the ball off, locating defenders, understand that the windows do close a little bit quicker, There's a lot of things that you could go back in a game and look back and want to redo. Yeah, that was just jokes, man. That was jokes. A lot of people took that out of context, but you understand the past 6-7 months been hard, So I want to definitely be thankful that I am able to work out with those guys and knowing I do have a great defense and knowing I came this far. So I was truly amazed. I was truly happy, of course, in that moment that the work has been paying off, but I'm not comfortable.
I say that all to say, what can we reasonably expect you in your second start? What do you kind of expect for yourself in the second start?
I'll say to do my job.
You did allude to after the game, kind of for the first time, just how hard this past 6 months really has been for you, which for the most part you put on a happy face for us and you had that smile and you had that great attitude and everything, but this was a lot harder on you, wasn't it, than you really let on, and why and how were you able to just not show it as much as you did?
Well, first and foremost, I got God, so through that, He's able to protect me through everything, but we're in a good moment now, and I don't like looking back. I don't like looking back at the past, and how I was feeling in that moment or however it was, because I'm here now. So I don't never dwell on the past and things that happened before.
Mary Kay, even the question that she asked, she's like, oh, so you kind of let us know that it impacted you more. Tell us more about it impacting you. If you didn't catch it in the moment that it was getting to me, then I'm not giving you an answer now. In the moment, everybody could saw that Shedeur was doing everything right. He was answering the questions right and everything. So it's like, wow, what are you expecting to get from this question? Like, that's the thing I always wonder. What are you really looking for? Are you looking for him to come tell the world it was hard for me to be a backup when I knew I should have been a starter? Every backup feels that way. That's not just him. You will not find me a player who came from college who is looking at somebody not perform well and think I'm not better than them. Come on, Mary Kay. The most losing organization, they act like you're supposed to beg them. Mary Kay asking how he feel when she is part of the problem, so disingenuous. I agree. I don't, just the question, the setup, all of it, I don't like it. If you don't want that after game energy from players, stop interviewing them. Facts. Leave them alone. Don't ask them questions then. Let them do what they're doing. So I don't like that from Mary Kay.
I wanted to ask you about gel with some of these guys. The more reps you get, physical reps. I know you've been taking mental reps and you've been doing that throughout the year. But to have these physical reps, does it feel like you're getting a better connection with everybody?
Yeah, of course. Day by day, minute by minute, meeting by meeting, of course, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable and like being in that role, being in that position. They're getting more comfortable with me also. So I'm excited. I'm happy for it, and I'm just thankful.
Shedeur, with Harold and seeing the yards after the catch he's able to pick up, like what's that like for you as a quarterback? And Dylan Sampson made the comment that Harold just never quits on a play. So
Yeah.
what's that like to be out there with?
Nah, it's great to be out there with Harold. I know all the receiver core, that's the goal, is to get yards after catch. So I think he set an example. He set the bar high for us in this team.
Shedeur, no Cleveland Browns.
See, that's a better question. That's a better question. He should say, watch the 30 for 30 documentary. Facts. Facts. Tell him go watch it later. But sometimes I think they forget that they're covering the football team. Their games are played. You can ask them questions about the game. You can ask them questions about other guys' performance, who he's throwing the ball to. All that makes sense. But, oh, really? It got to you more so than you told us? Tell me how it got to you. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Quarterback has ever won his first 2 starts. Does it surprise you, and how do you feel about it?
I don't really go off analytics and all that stuff, and it really doesn't matter to me, honestly. You know, I'm focused on what I could do and what I could control.
You could be the first.
I always wish the best, and I do everything I can, for this team and for everybody. But I got a great defense, got a great team, got great receivers, so I'm just thankful.
So that question, hopefully, I don't know if y'all heard it, but the question was, now they're bringing up another stat. Remember I told you about the stats they bring up and how the stat goes away and they never talk about it again? So the next stat is, a Browns quarterback never won his first 2 starts. Never won his first 2 starts going back all these years, 18 or something like that. So why would he care about that? They're going back to a time he wasn't even born yet. Why would he care about that? Why would that matter? So just sometimes these questions, I'm just like, what do you want him to say? So if you just flip the roles, we asked Tony Grossi, no quarterback has won his first 2 starts. What do you want him to say? Like, what are you asking for? That's something I was saying this a lot last year, because when I'm watching people break down stuff with the NBA, I'm always asking, what are you asking for? So what are you asking for, Tony? What would you say to that question? What would your answer be? Because these questions, they don't make sense. You can find a stat that shows failure in every level. So if you go seek out all of the opportunities for failure, you're just putting failure into your mind. You want to just look at what you control this week, not look ahead, worry about how you can get better after you watch the film. That's what you focus on. Why would you be focused on what quarterbacks did before you was born? Makes no sense. They're going to try to do a 30 for 30. Deion says he's going to put out his own documentary. They can't pimp Shedeur. Nope. They're not going to let him do it. They're not going to let him do it. They're going to do it on their own. That's funny because if you didn't win the first start, the first 2 starts are irrelevant. See, Anderson, right? It's like, what are we doing? Tony Grossi in shambles. He is. Wow, those are set-up questions. They are set-up questions. They don't make no sense. They're straight setup. Straight setup. It's like, what answer are you looking for? The fact that you asked that question says so much about Tony G. He just wants a negative storyline if he doesn't win. That's it. That's it. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard this before from Cleveland people. They don't ask questions because they really want the answer. Tell me if y'all have heard Cleveland media say this. I asked that question to get it on record. I asked that to get it on record. Are you an attorney? Are you in a courtroom? What do you mean I asked that to get it on record? I knew they wouldn't respond. Why ask the question? So that leads me to, you have a different agenda. Not the agenda of getting to know the player more, getting a better understanding of football. No, you have a different agenda. As soon as you say I asked him to get it on record, that means your agenda is rooted in the question that you ask, even though a lot of times they follow it up with, I knew they wouldn't answer the question. So what's the value of getting it on record? So you can run to your reporter friends and say, remember, I asked the question. They must have forgot who this guy is. They can't get him with trick questions. Cleveland media sucks. Yep. And I always said, when you have somebody like Shedeur, they're going to expose all of the slights and all of the failures with these people and how they do their jobs. That's what it's doing. That's what it's doing. When you listen to the questions that Tony Grossi, Mary Kay, Daryl, some of the other people ask Shedeur, when you listen to them, it makes you wonder, how have they been able to do this for so long? Because people who come from places where they really covered a team and it's about the sport that they are covering, these reporters would never last. It would never last. Tony Gross would never get this off in New York. He would never get this off in LA, Vegas, Atlanta. He would never get this off there. They've been able to be in like the shadow realm of being bad at their job for so long that somehow people give them respect because they've been doing it for so long, not because they're good at what they do. It don't make no sense. All set up questions to use against you later. That's it. That's it. I'm sorry, I never knew Cleveland media before Shedeur Sanders. It's all right. I was looking at Cleveland media, and that's what got me to even start podcasting. I was looking at the media. I was looking at the coverage of the Browns, and this was before Shedeur. I started this last year because I was looking and I was like, I was like, I don't think they understand the game of football. That was the first thing I noticed. Then I noticed that they'll take one thing, one sound bite, and they all will just say it. How many different people did you hear say Shedeur Sanders wasn't ready? We heard so many people say that, and I was like, what does that even mean? It's just something to say. So that was a part of the reason why I even wanted to do this. And this was before Shedeur got here. Shedeur was the cherry on top. He was the bonus when the Browns drafted Shedeur. But I started covering this last year because I saw an opportunity there. I saw an opportunity. And now everybody sees it where they're like, these are not good reporters. This is not real journalism. They're not looking for answers. They're not getting multiple sources before they run with stuff. You're 100% right. He show wouldn't last in Seattle. No. These other sports towns, these people be ran out of there. They keep calling us names, but I bet you they haven't never been more known until Shedeur got there. They need to cut him a check. It's called the Shedeur stimulus package. And they act like it doesn't exist. The spotlight is here now, so they better up their knowledge or it's going to get dangerous out there. That's a fact. Because what'll happen is people will just tune them out. I had a prediction. So I was looking at this whole situation in the summer, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, okay, so if people realize how bad these people are at their job covering the Browns, eventually, why would the Browns still need reporters? Why wouldn't the Browns just speak for themselves? And I was like, in 5 years, I can see teams not using reporters. And they could just like crowdsource questions for the press conferences and answer those questions, and reporters will be obsolete. Because it's a lot of things that are becoming obsolete right before our eyes, and people are just late to realize that this is something that's going to be obsolete. So if you're thinking ahead, you can see the changes there. The Browns have they got a full media team. They put out all the clips. What do we gain from the media asking the players and coaches questions? What do we gain from Mary Kay saying the Browns have announced Shedeur as a starter? What do we gain from that? That could be a tweet. That could be a post on X from the Browns. Shedeur's our starter this week. Same information. Eliminated a whole person. So that's my out there take. 5 years, all these reporters, beat reporters, they won't exist. They'll be overtaken by people who are passionate about the sport, who want to learn more about the sport, who actually care about what they're doing every day. They're going to be overtaken by those people. So that's my way out there take. These people in Cleveland media will be shunned with the Marshawn Lynch answers by Sanders. They lost credibility big time. They did. Every time they speak, they lose credibility. Shedeur said, we have developed our communication. Shedeur did not say coach nor his name. I think Shedeur's eyes lit up to mention the GM. Plus, Shedeur said, you just want to start something. He's called them out a couple times for that.
Shedeur hitting that early big play to Isaiah, the 52-yarder, help you, and then did you notice the effect that it seemed to have on the rest of the team?
Well, it's about belief. The reason why I am so confident in the way I am is the guys around believe, so that's what's most important within having a team, within having an offense, within having to have a spark. You got to have guys that believe, so and I'm fully confident in myself throughout everything, and I'm confident in my team, and I'm sure they're confident in me also.
I know you got a taste of it coming off the bench against the Ravens, but what do you think the first start at home in front of that crowd's going to feel like?
I feel like it'll be fun. I feel like it'll be very fun. You gotta understand, right now, I'm in grind mode. Mentally, understanding how to attack this defense that we're going against, and they're a great team. They got great coaches, everything. But that's where I am mentally right now.
Hey, Shedeur, not from you, but all your supporters out there say that Kevin Stefanski was sabotaging you.
So you just want to start trouble, huh?
No, I want to ask you what your relationship with him is.
Yeah, well, what people do outside the building isn't really in my control. It's not in my power. So I don't. Yeah, like I go out there and tell them to do whatever. That's not nothing I can control or nothing I could do. But overall, I'm just happy to be here. Coach Stefanski, he's been coaching since I got here, and he's been doing a very great job, with everything that's going on.
But what is your relationship like with him and when we don't see you guys together?
Definitely like a coach. He tells me what I need to do on and off the field. We've definitely grown. Our relationship and everything has grown, so I'm just thankful to be here.
Shedeur, obviously you had a conversation with Kevin about remaining the starter earlier this week. Just what was that moment like for you? Because you talk about the work you put in over 6 months to get to the point to just start, but to know that you not only got that opportunity, but you did enough to keep the job. Just what was that like for you?
Well, I'll say I'm definitely not comfortable though. So that's first and foremost, that I have another opportunity to go out there. But in life, you gotta understand how quickly things come or how long it comes. It could be taken at any point in time. So I'm never comfortable in a situation I'm in. I always want to exceed expectations and I always want to grow. And each and every week, I will want to put a better product of myself, be a better version of myself for the team to be out there.
With Dylan Sampson, how have you seen him?
Let me get a couple comments. I'm enjoying this. Glad to have you at 11s. Yes, Shedeur loves Andrew Berry. He knows he's fighting for him. I agree with that. What 11? How much are tickets? I bet they are not $6. No, they're not $6. I pulled it up. I got it up. I got it up here on my phone. Cheapest tickets I'm seeing are all the way at the very top. They're $29. And I'm talking about where your back is to the top of the stadium. So they're $29. They're not $6. So change is there. Every team in the NFL should use well-off media blueprint. Sucks he can't get a copyright for his style, but he will get credit. Yes, everyone should, because you get to understand some of the inner workings. You get to have a better understanding of the players, and you get to grow with the players and watch them grow as they go through ups and downs of a season. So that's what I mean. If NFL teams get somebody who covers them like Bucky, why would you need reporters? Your story is already being told. It's being told through film. It's being told through the videos that are coming out every day. Reporters could be the obsolete ones in that situation. My bad. He did call his name and coach. Yeah, that person was trying to start something. That's the third question. Somebody was trying to start something. I'm just trying not to get fined. Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Marshawn Lynch. He trying to be in grind mode, and the dumb question is trying to start internal turmoil. That's it. They are definitely trying to start stuff with these questions. They definitely are. Shedeur will always respect him because Deion raised him that way. I've seen Deion throw kids off the team for disrespecting the coach. There you go. He's not going to say nothing crazy. See, this is when people cover a team and they still don't know who Shedeur is. They still don't know who he is. These are throwaway questions that's not even worth answering. I go to my question I had earlier. What are you expecting him to say when you say when they say Kevin Stefanski is sabotaging you? What do you think he can say? What could he say to that question that is not going to cause issues inside the building? He can only answer it the way he did. I don't have control over what people think and say out there. That's the only thing he can say. He doesn't have another answer for that without causing an issue. So the question was rooted it was a mean-spirited question. I bet they don't like that Bucky had access. See, he went through the Raiders. See, he went through the Carolina Panthers. He was at the Browns one time, but you see that access look different in other places. I'm just saying. Just putting that out there.
Handle this year, he kind of got off to a slow start, and then seems to be coming on. Obviously, made that huge play for you Sunday.
Dylan been the same all year, mentally. So you wouldn't even know unless you look at the numbers, So he has good energy, good everything, when he's out there. So yeah.
Shedeur, how do you feel that you just brought this spark back to Cleveland? I know a lot of the young fans really look up to you and rally behind you. Now you have the whole city rallying behind you for upcoming this Sunday. Just how does that make you feel about all of that?
It is great, honestly, but like I said, I'm not comfortable. As quick as things come, it could leave at any point in time. So that don't really catch my focus, or that's not really in my focus or my plans, I'm thankful for everybody and whoever supports, but, I'm focused on getting this team some wins.
It's not often that the President of the United States shouts out an NFL player. So for you to get, and I told you so from the President of the United States, what did that mean to you this week?
Yeah, he definitely been a supporter, for a minute. So I'm just thankful for him from, even taking time out his day to be able to speak out, and support.
Shedeur, obviously, unfortunate circumstances for why Dylan Gabriel lost the starting job last week with a concussion, but now that he's back, just how has he sort of showed support for you already this week as you guys get ready for that?
Yeah, definitely. He's a hard worker. He's the same guy. I feel like a lot of people in his locker room is the same within every situation they're in. You understand, he spent a lot of years in college, so he got experience in a lot of different areas and a lot of different people. So he knows how to bond and mesh with different people. So since he's been back, he's been good. He's been cool throughout everything.
Looking for that gotcha answer, Maurice. I agree. C.A. Anderson, he's supposed to say, yeah, man, he treated me like a dog. I can't stand him. This team sucks. They think he dumb, but he said, I'm just dumb rich. That's it. It's like, what are they even asking for? What are they asking for? They won't be able to spend nothing. If Bucky was not there with Shedeur and Grossi would have lied on Shedeur. I believe that too. Because when Grossi was recalling it the next day when he didn't know it was a video, he got some of the details wrong. So he definitely it wouldn't have came out right. Like he is going to say, yeah, he been sabotaging since day one. I hope he gets fired. This play calling is trash. You see me go out there and bust the play calling wide open with the toss to bind. Right, Shanithia? What they want him to say? What do they want him to say? You're the man when the president is going hard for you. Yep. Taking the time out of his day. Taking the time out of his day to tweet about it. Wrist up. What it do, homie? Big Dog, what's going on? Big Dog, man, we had some technical difficulties earlier. They pulled the stream down, but we're going to get through this thing. America, you claim Arch and Garrett and Cade and Bennett were all first-round draft pick of 2026. They are at best 7th-round draft picks. I agree. All those guys coming out, it ain't no answers there. It is no answers there. That's why, see, I knew we would get to this point in the season. I knew we would get to this point where people were so busy trying to cause drama that they wouldn't even watch these guys in college. I started watching these guys in college, and I started doing weekly videos. Then I was doing live streams on Tuesdays so I could have my own view of these quarterbacks in real time. So I'm not going based on how other people viewed them. I did that. So now when I get to this point, I can easily tell y'all it's 2 quarterbacks that everybody going to like, and that's it. I've been saying that for a month now. I've been saying it for a month. It's only 2 of them. It's only 2 because I actually watched them. But these people who didn't watch them, they just keep saying, nah, they're going to go get a quarterback. What quarterback are they going to get? Think about the quarterbacks who have to leave college. No more eligibility. Drew Aller, Nussmeier. These guys got to leave. Klubnik. They got to leave. Is anybody taking them in the first round? No way. Look at the quarterbacks who don't have that many starts. Or Carson Beck got to leave. Anybody taking him in the first round? Nope. Now you look at the other guys. Sam Levitt. He's staying. Arch ain't ready to come out. Lenore Sellers should go back to college. Dante Moore should go back to college. So what quarterback are they taking? People just keep saying this quarterback. What quarterback are they taking? The quarterback ain't there. And I did the work all year. So when we get to this point, I can confidently say, y'all don't hear me stutter or anything when I say it's 2 quarterbacks. It's 2 quarterbacks and 7 teams that need quarterbacks. How is all 7 gonna get the quarterbacks? Y'all know those questions when we was a kid. When you reading the question, what the question say? Johnny owns 2 football teams. Both of Johnny's football teams. No, I'm sorry. Johnny owns 7 football teams. All 7 of his football teams need a quarterback. There are 2 quarterbacks available. How many of Johnny's teams won't have a quarterback after that draft? 5 of them. That's what it is. They not there. And Shedeur is going to play them out of getting a quarterback. That's just it. It's going to happen. Shedeur is going to be nasty next year. He is. You know darn well Kevin and Ninja Turtle Hand mad as hell too. This weekend 12 is really going to light him up. He is. He going to do it. He going to shut him up. The weird thing is how they automatically start comparing them to Shedeur like Dylan is not on the team or a rookie. What about Cam? They don't really want to go. It's so bad. They don't even want to look at, they don't even want to compare. They don't even want to compare Shedeur's stats to these people who are supposedly the saviors. If you look at Shedeur's college stats and these guys, they're just hoping and praying one of these guys win the Heisman so they can have that over Shedeur. But if you notice, they don't even talk about their stats compared to Shedeur no more. Y'all notice that? They don't even do it. Arch just a name, man. That's it. Arch better stay in school another 6 years. Yes, he definitely needs the Dylan Gabriel route. He needs the Dylan Gabriel. 12 is the future of the Browns. It's simple. The fans want them. The players on the team want. That's it. The real good QBs are going to want to go in the 5th round so they can either get on a good team or they want to prove their talented Shedeur effect. Yeah, they don't want to go at the top to these teams. They don't want to go at the top. Not Johnny. D, you wild for the Johnny analogy. Because everybody, you know, every question when you was in school, if you got kids that's in school right now, why they only use Johnny? They talk about apples. They talk about everything. They only talk about Johnny. Like it ain't no other names. It ain't nobody else out there. It's just Johnny. So I got to roll with Johnny too. That's who they use. Let's see what else Shedeur got to say.
More specifically with Ethan, just, quarterback center, that's such an important connection. Can you kind of describe how that's grown over the last couple of weeks?
The connection definitely grown. I'll say I'm thankful to have him out there. He makes life easier for me, and he's a smart person, smart player. So, that's definitely a relief when he's out there with me.
Sure. How's it feel to be part of it? We've talked so much about this rookie class, and now you're contributing as part of it. Just how do you look at this entire group and you being part of it?
Yeah, I'm just thankful, Andrew Berry made the choices, he made, and the coaching staff for getting us all here. I feel like it's a great class. We all bond together. We're all like family, so I'm just thankful that we're all here together, and I know it's going to be very exciting. And you have high expectations for us, and we're here to exceed those.
What do you see from San Francisco's defense when you watch them on tape and you're getting ready for the game? I'm not trying to ask you to give away game plan, but
no, for sure.
What do you see when you look at that 49er defense?
They're a well-coached team. Honestly, they rush the passer very good. They're great in coverage. They have great disguises overall. They know how to get pressure to the quarterback. So they're a great all-around defense. We know they're gonna have something different, cooking for us. But just going out there, even having this opportunity, to go out there and study him and be able to go on the field is cool. It's very cool. So I'm just thankful for it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Shedeur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see if I can find Kevin Stefanski real quick. Let's find Kevin Stefanski. People said that he was open. They be asking the craziest things. They do. Usually it's not football related. I don't know why the bot pulled your message. Let me see. Yeah, that's not a link. My bot is tripping. He likes the center. He smiles so much talking about him. When Bentonio gave Shedeur a compliment, I said, whoa, I did not think he cared for him. It's all there now. They can't hide the fact that they have faith that he could do better. Is Ross Tucker secretly waiting outside to get that interview he never got at college? He might be. Hey, Shedeur, there was a time I was covering your game and
place.
I wanted to see if
I have a ton of respect for Coach Shanahan.
Wanted to see if we could kind of do that interview we never got to do. Nah, I seen that your granddad had a hit out on my dad. I'll pass on the interview. Have a good day, sir.
His coaches, his staff, who I know a lot of his coaches, they do a great job. Really talented roster. They're playing good football, so we have to meet this challenge. It's a unique challenge in some of the things they do schematically. So we have to have a great work week. Obviously, it's a different work week just with Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we'll move some meetings around and that type of thing. But have to have a really great work week this week before we head down to the stadium in front of our fans, which is we're very excited about that part. So with that, I'll take any questions.
With Robert there now back as the defensive coordinator, where has he kind of put his imprint back on that defense, and what is what's kind of the teaching points with Shedeur this week to prepare him for that?
Coach Sala does an amazing job. I've competed against Coach Sala when he was at the Niners the first time. When he was at the Jets, obviously going up against him now. He's an excellent football coach from the X's and O's, but this defense and Coach Sala's system and our system share a lot of DNA. Their defensive line coach, Chris Kuceric, who does an outstanding job, was with Coach Schwartz when they were in Detroit together. So there's a lot of things that they do similar. And I'd say the number one thing that I think you'd see on tape is how hard their defense plays and how relentless their defense plays. And that's something that's obviously part of both teams' defensive identity.
How much work and what was the work that went into Shedeur eliminating those deep lost sacks?
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. The protection plan was really solid. We really had one sack for -3 yards on a coverage sack. We went max protection, didn't really have any underneath options, moved forward in the pocket with great ball security. So that's a great lesson for the young quarterback. And we took a sack, but it was just for -3. We maintained possession of the ball. He had great ball security throughout that. But it only you have great success over the course of a game by everybody being on the same page. That's the quarterback and how he's operating. That's the offensive line and who they're blocking. Tight ends and running backs are involved. Obviously, people getting open. So I thought that was a really, really strong outing for Shedeur in his first start to just have 1 sack.
Coaching to him.
All right, so they asked about Shedeur retreating. That was something that everybody said Shedeur did. He couldn't stop doing. Shedeur stopped doing it. Nobody said anything. Another thing, Shedeur, he holds the ball too long. So let me show y'all something real quick. I got this. And in the Patreon, I put this in the Patreon yesterday. But if you are here today, we're going to show you. I'm going to show you when they get to Shedeur holds the ball too long and how now they just don't speak on it like they didn't. They act like it was such a big deal. Now you don't hear them saying nothing about it. And it's like, okay, did he get better? Is he not holding the ball as long? Let me make this smaller because I want to show y'all the main point of his time to throw. Time to throw. Right here. Shedeur Sanders, time to throw. TTT, 3 seconds. Last week, his time to throw was 3.31 seconds. This week is 3 seconds. Time to throw is going down. So they tried to use the time to throw to say he couldn't process. Well, now it's going down and he's getting faster. He even has some throws where he got rid of the ball at 1.75, under 2 seconds. So all the stuff they were saying he couldn't do and he had to clean up. His first start, he cleaned it up. First start. They don't want to talk about football. They don't want to talk about football. They want to talk about the narratives that they create that they make up, not about what happens on the football field. Because didn't we hear a lot about how long it takes him to throw a week ago after he played the Ravens? Didn't we hear a lot about him retreating out the back of the pocket? Now, those same people who claim to have a question about that, are they this week saying he did this so much better? Or are they saying, I don't see why this team didn't blitz him more? Like Jay Crawford. So it just shows you these people never really wanted to be about football. They never had true intentions when they were having these conversations. They were just playing as if it was true. Ohio State, I thank you for defeating Texas and in front of Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam. I can tell his 10 errant passes affected their grades about Arch. I saw Shanahan and Chris Sims at Texas. Yeah, everybody wanted to see him because of the hype, but the hype train has died. The hype train has died. Block and tackling and don't allow defenders to run free through the line. There you go. Yes, hold the ball too long. He needs to clean up all the pre-snap stuff. Yep. I don't know if it was the All-22, but it was something in the All-22 I wanted to show y'all. When they got the illegal procedure, it was because Harold Fannin, I've noticed this on tape, Harold Fannin has been lining up on the wrong side of the play. He's done this multiple times this year, and they have to tell him, come, you're on the wrong side. So for that play, Harold Fannin went to the wrong side immediately. Shedeur was telling Harold Fannin to come back, you're on the wrong side. The receiver was telling Harold Fannin, you're on the wrong side. And who was it? It was Dylan Sampson thought Shedeur was calling him in to come in motion. But it was Harold Fannin. They were trying to get him lined up correctly. So Harold Fannin was in the wrong place. He was lined up wrong. They were trying to get him to move. They got him to the right side. Then they had to run the actual motion that was part of the play, and that's why they ended up getting a legal procedure. So that was more so somebody not knowing what side of the play they were supposed to be on. And this happened multiple times, and it's just like the drops when Harold Fannin was dropping passes. I said it's not a good thing. Everybody wanted to give him a pass. It's just like that. He has to be lined up on the right side of the play so the play can run smoothly. So probably what I'll do is I got a few things I got to take care of today. But what I'll do is I'll probably just make a quick video breaking that down and drop it on the Patreon later on this evening. So that's probably what I'll do to show, because when people point out that illegal procedure, they want to blame the quarterback, but they forget the quarterback is trying to get them lined up right because somebody was on the wrong side of the play. So something that I'm going to I'll get that out this evening and I'll drop it on the Patreon. So if you do want to see more things from me and you want to support the channel on another level, definitely tap into the Patreon. The link is there. The bot just put it out. You can tap into the Patreon because I drop some stuff off there. Stuff I do on Patreon, it never makes its way to YouTube. It's just specifically for the Patreon and the people who are going to that next level of support. So I'll probably drop that play later on this evening. Fannin was still moving when Dylan started his motion. Yep. Because at the beginning of the play, Fannin was in the wrong spot. Fannin was in the wrong spot on the play. He went to the left with the bunch, and he was supposed to be on the right. So Shedeur told him, and the receiver is like, go to the other side. You're in the wrong spot. So that's something I'll put out for the Patreon crew. I'll drop that, and I'll get that out tonight. Let's see what else Kevin Stefanski got to say.
Him to go over former games and say,
oh, sure. We talk about a lot in that quarterback room, and certainly had a lot of discussions with all the quarterbacks in Shedeur on just our pocket movement, our pocket mechanics. When you have players that can escape the pocket and make big plays down the field, naturally there are going to be times where you then expose yourself to a pass rush. So that balance of finding the completions when they're there and you can make plays from the pocket, and then also still having that ability to break the pocket, break contain, move up in the pocket, all those type of things where some big plays lie when you do that.
The 49ers are, I think, last in the NFL in sacks right now, and obviously Nick Bosa's not out there, Fred Warner's not out there. What does that mean in terms of their ability to get pressure and rush the passer?
Yeah, they still do an outstanding job. They have rushers that can win one-on-ones. They have a good pressure package on third down, and they are relentless. Just talking earlier about how this team plays, they're relentless. So you have to match their intensity really throughout the game.
McCaffrey that gets the ball as much as he does. I mean, besides the talent aspect of it, how does the just volume challenge you guys?
Yeah, he's a unique player in this game, just the way he impacts the game and both the run and the pass. When he's running routes, he's a wide receiver. I mean, I really don't think there's a route he can't run. They could line him up anywhere. He could run any route. There's no run scheme that he can't run. So he's a huge challenge, having gone against him over the years. You try to limit him, you try to slow him down, but you also have to recognize this is a great player.
The fans are going to go crazy Sunday with Shedeur.
Whoops. Wrong button.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
Charmaine says, it sound good, but we still know what's about to happen.
Do you have to kind of like harness his energy so he stays within the game?
I think he's always done a nice job of that. He's what we appreciate about all of our players is authenticity. He's the same guy every single day. Obviously on game day there's a juice that comes with that. There's an excitement that comes with that, but he's played that position for a long time. He knows how to make sure he keeps the main thing.
How much the 49ers use pre-snap motion? I think they're like second in the league. Just how much is that a point of emphasis for you guys on defense to make sure your eyes are kind of in the right place and you're not falling for certain things that they're trying to show you?
Yeah, it's a huge point of emphasis, and it's been a staple of what they do. That's something certainly when we played them a couple years back was what they do. Having played Miami recently, that's a big part of them as well. So there are schemes, there are offensive attacks that utilize.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
True to our reads, those type of things.
Now, why didn't you give Shedeur a game ball after the game? And I know you didn't give Dylan one either. Is it like you don't want to let rookies taste too much success too soon, or what was the
No, I mean, every game you go into it, try and just highlight guys. Miles got a game ball. I thought it was probably pretty worthy. But you're just constantly trying to recognize your guys. We spent time this morning as well pointing out all of our guys and the jobs they did. Point out Gage, having a big punt return, which was huge for our team. Your D-line doesn't get 10 sacks unless the coverage is really good. Obviously, a rookie starting his first game on the road, getting a win is huge. So you acknowledge all that with your team.
Before you hired Schwartz.
This seems to be the only time this guy's animated when he's talking about opposing teams. Maurice, you see that? He is just not he's not animated when he speaks about his own team. But when he speaks about other teams, I think that's when he's being honest about how he views opposing players and coaches. Kevin is about to lose it. What is that reporter talking about? Harness his energy? Have they watched him in college? He was about his business. Do you remember earlier when I said they don't know who Shedeur is? The more you listen to him, you recognize they don't know who he is. And then also Mary Kay playing that game. She trying to ask Shedeur gotcha questions. She trying to ask Kevin Stefanski gotcha questions. That's Mary Kay. And surprisingly, she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So to me, that's just her style. She likes to play in the mud. And, I guess she probably gets the best results or views from that, but not my style. Not my style. I would not do that. Hall of Shame, yeah. Especially those media people are lost. When you really listen to the questions they ask, you're like, is this real? It was so bad, y'all. So I'm used to it, and I just thought I was being extremely harsh on the Cleveland Browns beat reporters. So y'all know what I did? I started listening to press conferences from other teams. I listened to press conference from the Giants. I listened to press conference from the Titans. I'm like, maybe it's just me. And I listened to press conference from the Carolina Panthers. And I'm like, no, it's Cleveland. This is how they ask questions. This is how they do it here. Because I listened to questions from those other places, and I'm like, they don't ask questions like this. Because I thought I was just being too harsh on them. As G. Bush would say, that's crazy work. Yeah, crazy work. Crazy work, Maurice. Wow, he does not want to be there. Yeah, nah. Once he got to talk about his team, he's like, is this over? Why would they want to cause drama between the coaches and the players? Because they are there to cause division. That's it. Full stop. They're there to cause division. They're not there to help you get a better understanding of the team, the game of football, better understanding of the players. They are there to be divisive. And they probably could say, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. But I would just go based on your track record and your history of questions that you ask. You don't ask questions that help people get a better understanding of the game, that help people get a better understanding of the coach, or help people get a better understanding of the players. You ask questions to stir up the pot. So that's what it is. Kevin Stefanski does not want to be there. No, he doesn't. He's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He had successful record against Shanahan as coordinators, head coaches. And you shared that success in the 23-1 game. So have you learned some of his trade secrets over the last 3 years?
I think that's, honestly, Tony, I think it's probably overrated to think, and I understand the question, but there's really, really good coaches on both sides of the ball. And there's going to be moments where they got you, and there's going to be moments we get them, and there's always in between. But all those previous games, while we're watching that game and they're watching that game, those games don't really factor into this one.
That's why, Shanithia, you hit the nail on the head. Because they don't care about winning and winning culture. They have just been losing for so long. You hit the nail on the head. You cannot lose for years and think it doesn't have an impact on you. That's why when people say, oh, just tank and start losing, I'm like, no. You don't want to make winners comfortable with losing. You want losing to hurt every single time, so you do everything in your power to win. You do everything in your power to win. You don't just start losing for the sake of losing. You turn winners into losers that way. So that's not the way to go. Have they always been like that? They hang around the team for lunch, buffet, and coffee. C.A. Anderson, they have always been like that. Always. Always been like that. Even on my streams, I've pulled up how they covered the Browns from 15 years ago, 10 years ago. It's the same way. Same way. And it's the same people. It was the same people. Mary Kay been covering the Browns for 30 years. Tony Grossi been covering the Browns 30 years. They always the same way. They always been like that. They need to move on from Kevin. He looks like he is done. Does not look happy. Nope. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Have you noticed that Kevin and Mary do not smile at each other? Kevin used to call her name, but not anymore. Nope. Because he can't hide it on his face what she's trying to do. He can't hide it. He can't hide it. Losing makes people do strange things. I agree. I thought you was going to play more of Shedeur press conference. They was trying to bait him too. Miss Brown, I went back and played Shedeur's whole thing on this stream where I had to come back. I went back and played the whole thing of it. I did stop it sometimes. I'm a little paranoid about whatever happened with copyright earlier today, so I went back and made sure I played the whole thing. But I stopped it more than I normally do, just to give my thoughts in between, because we had the copyright situation today. I don't know what that was. I think the problem is they were getting paid for nothing, and now the Shedeur is there, the eyes are there. Now people have to earn their money. That is a great point. It's a great point. You got to earn your money, and the world is watching. It's not just people excited about the Browns. The world is watching. I started to show 2 weeks ago. It's people that said, oh, man, we just need to move on. Draft a new quarterback, get Shedeur out of here. They don't like the world watching. They don't like the fact that you have to continue to perform. They don't want the pressure to perform on them. They want to just go through, hee-haw, complain about the Browns, oh, the Browns are bad, and keep it moving. That's what they want to be able to do. That's what they want to be able to do. So they don't want the pressure of being great. Everybody doesn't want to be great. I know we think everybody wants to be great. Everybody doesn't want to be great. And you see people who don't want to be great when they have the pressure on them. This could elevate you to a totally different level if you wanted to be great. This could also lower you 20 levels if you just think you're going to do the same thing you did last year. Which way you want? I want the pressure to be great. I want the pressure to be on me. I want the opportunity for me to grow and get better. I don't want to just be in the abyss where nobody see me. Put the pressure on me to be great. Put the pressure on me to perform. Put the pressure on me to get better every single time. That's the pressure I want. That's not the pressure they want. They don't want that pressure. They didn't need a QB. They need a cleanup. Shedeur Sanders is still up for the challenge. Got to change the culture, but sometimes you got to slowly lead them to the door. That's it. I can't remember who posted it, but when I used to bartend, we used to play a song, Boyz II Men, End of the Road. We would start playing that song right around, because the bar in Cleveland used to close at 2:30. We would play that song at 2:20. We're going to start just planting the seed. Like C.A. Anderson said, slowly lead them to the door. We will slowly let people know the night is over. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the road. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. So that's what we used to do. Slowly walk them to the door as they're singing End of the Road. That's what we used to do. They have always been able to use the excuse they have no quarterback. Now the Browns fan base are waking up. They can't fool them anymore. That's it. That's it. Can't fool them. They're here paying attention. Paying attention. Wet 11s, you're talking right. I appreciate you. That's the difference with Shedeur. He wants to be a winner. He sees the Browns for more. Yep. He sees the Browns to be more and knows them they can be more so than the coaches even know what they could be. Shedeur Sanders is a change agent. You can't get rid of him now. You gotta boss Mayor too. I watched him in the presser with Haslam and D. He got swag, at least from what I saw. He does. He even went on UCSS last year. The Mayor did. Stefanski is auditioning for the next job. Hey, somebody come take him. Come take him. You know how like you could trade a coach because he's still under contract. We don't need nothing in return. He's yours. Giants, you want Kevin Stefanski? Come take him. One of these other teams, Tennessee, you want Kevin Stefanski? Come take him. Y'all can have him. Free of charge. Free of charge. Y'all can have him. Jimmy should want more just handing free money to people. Yeah. It's finally starting to click with the owner where the owner is starting to want to win. It's cool to say you own a team, but to always be the laughing stock of the jokes, the butt of every joke, he wants to win now. So I don't see how Kevin Stefanski can go in his office at the end of the year and you can look at Dylan Gabriel and they told the owner Dylan Gabriel was the guy. They told the owner Dylan Gabriel is the guy. They said Dylan Gabriel's the guy. We watched Dylan Gabriel. Now the owner is looking at Shedeur. Kevin Stefanski got to go in the owner's office at the end of the year and say why he should come back next year. The owner's going to have one question. Why did you think Dylan Gabriel was better than Shedeur Sanders? Kevin Stefanski is going to ask that question. Or the owner's going to ask Kevin Stefanski that question. And Kevin Stefanski won't have an answer. He won't have an answer to that question. And this is what's going to happen.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
That's the one question he can't answer. Can't answer it. We threw away a whole year because you told us that Dylan Gabriel is better than Shedeur. He don't have an answer for that. Hello, Shedeur. My name is Perry White of the Daily Planet. I employ Clark Kent, Superman, and Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. I tell all my employees just tell a story at all costs. Too bad what they think. That's what they do, Clyde. Don't send him to the Giants. I don't want him ruining Dart. Yeah. Anybody can have him. Dan Orlowski said they want him. Anybody can have him. UCSS is a joke. Leave that right there. I rock with G. Bush. I rock with G. Bush off UCSS. The other ones, I'll just say I rock with G. Bush. Did you just say Kevin Stefanski has no trade value, undrafted free agent? Yes. We can't get nothing back for him. Can't get nothing back for him. If the Browns go 4-2 or 5-1, Stefanski going, yep. I agree. Because how do you answer the question? The better quarterback was sitting here all the time. The division was up for grabs this year. The defense is playing lights out. Myles Garrett is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Carson Schwarzenegger is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. They're going to win those things. When they win, we're going to look at the coach and say, how did you lead us astray? He won't have an answer. He won't have an answer. That's the question he can't answer. Remember, we can blame Andrew Berry. We can blame all these people. Nobody gave us a chance. If Shedeur wins with the same people that y'all said wasn't good enough all year, and you told us Shedeur wasn't good enough, he got to go. He got to go. I thought they did a sneak move with Dylan on the way to Shedeur Sanders Pro Day. They did. They did. They went in and seen him. They did. Ivy League Mac, what's going on? It makes you wonder why Dan O wants him somewhere else. CAA. If you know, you know. CAA. That's their owner's fault. Well, they need to be watching too, not just trusting the coach. I agree. And that's why I think when the owner asks him that question, it's over with.
Relax. You ain't got the answers. I'm asking you a question. You ain't been doing the education.
When the owner asks him that question, he gonna say, you ain't got the answers. You ain't been doing the education. Jay Gruden says he wants to coach Shedeur. I don't want Jay Gruden. I would take John. I take John Gruden. I don't want Jay. We watched the Ops live. Barry came to 12 2 times now to put a stamp on his game. Yep, he did. He did, y'all. This has been a real stream. I did a lot of streaming today, y'all. But it's been real. I appreciate y'all spending the day before Thanksgiving with me. This has been really great stream. Had some technical difficulties, but we made it through. This has been another amazing stream. We got 2 of them that's going to be up on the channel. 2 streams going to be up for y'all to check out, for y'all to replay. But this has been a really good stream. I appreciate y'all sticking with me through the technical difficulties earlier. I want y'all to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with the people you care about. Make some memories that'll last a lifetime that nobody can take away from you. Always make sure you make those memories with the people you care about during the holiday season. So the looks of it is we're going to have a Friday stream, 10:30 Eastern. We're going to have a Friday stream. Saturday, we're going to have Ohio State watch party at 12 Eastern Standard Time. Sunday, we back at it for the Browns, 1 p.m. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we going back at it. We're going to do this thing. We're going to do it live. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. I will see y'all on Friday. It's been real. Don't eat too much. Peace.